The Journey of Kabbalah, Unraveling the Mysteries of Ancient Knowledge. Welcome to the presentation about Kabbalah. On this journey we will explore the origins, fundamental concepts and practical applications of this spiritual tradition. We will discover the teachings, we will explore the tree of life and its puppy. We will investigate the universal laws of the cosmos and their relation to energy vibration and our connection to the universe. We will address the process of optimum, the quest for spiritual elevation. Thank you for joining us on this transformative journey exploring the origins of Kabbalah and its evolution over time. Kabbalah has its roots in tradition, Jewish and dating back thousands of years. Its exact origin is somewhat mysterious, with speculation theories that suggest influences from various ancient cultures, however eventually emerged as a distinct discipline within Judaism around the Middle Ages. The word horse derives from the Hebrew root the hare, which means upon receiving it indicates that the bullet is a knowledge transmitted through an oral tradition from master to disciple as a sacred teaching to being received and understood. Kabbalah began to be systematized and codified in the 12th and 13th centuries, mainly in the region of Spain, with emphasis on the famous treaty called later in the city of Sapphire in Palestine. During the 16th century, the Rabbi Isaac Uriah and his followers developed one of the most influential currents of the Kabbalah known as Learnik Kabbalah. However, it is important to point out that the Mackerel is not only a historical tradition but also a system of knowledge that continues to evolve, adapt to modern times. Over the centuries, scholars and mystics have contributed to its understanding and expansion, resulting in different schools of thought and approaches within Kabbalah. One of the most significant milestones in the development of modern Kabbalah was the publication of the Zohar Book of Splendor in the 13th century. Is considered one of the most important parts of Kabbalistic literature and has become a central source of study and inspiration for those seeking understanding the mysteries of Kabbalah. Moreover, Kabbalah has also influenced other traditions and spiritual currents over the centuries, establishing connections with Hermeticism, alchemy, philosophy, and even Christian mysticism. Like this on horseback remains an area of study and practice in constant evolution, adapting to the needs and questions of each era. Its power and attractiveness lie in its ability to offer a map of the cosmos and a vision of the universe, as well as a framework for understanding human nature and the purpose of existence. Presentation of the main Kabbalistic texts, such as mocking. Within the Kabbalistic tradition there are several texts considered fundamental to the study and understanding of Kabbalah. These texts contain deep symbolic and metaphysical teachings that seek to reveal the hidden secrets of the universe and of human nature. One of the main Kabbalistic texts, the work, is a collection of commentaries, interpretations and discussions on texts biblical, especially the Book of Genesis, parables, dialogues and deep reflections. The text central of Horary, or Midrash of the occult, that reveals esoteric symbolic interpretations of Bible verses. Through these interpretations of meaning and offer a broader view of reality. One of the central ideas presented in the To Honor is from the Tree of Life. The Eichstein, the Tree of Life, is a symbolic map that represents the structure of the universe and the spiritual journey of the soul. It is composed of 10 puppies that are divine aspects or emanations. Each will serve represents a quality or divine attribute, and the interaction between them form the basis of Kabbalistic cosmology. In addition to the Ho-Ho, other important Kabbalistic texts include the aforementioned Book of Creation that explores the creative processes of the universe and the relationship between language and the manifestation of reality, and the Sefer Bayer Book on Enlightenment that discusses the fundamental principles of Kabbalah and its applications. Practices. These Kabbalistic texts, including the Orah, are studied, interpreted by mystical scholars and spiritual seekers aiming to gain a deeper understanding of nature, divine and human existence. They serve as a guide to explore the mysteries of the universe and enhance the spiritual journey towards enlightenment. Explanation of fundamental concepts. Like the Tree of Life, there are fundamental concepts that play a central role in understanding the structure of the universe and the divine nature. Two essential concept tests are the Tree of Life. The Tree of Life is an important symbol in Kabbalah that represents structure and organization of the universe as well as the spiritual journey of the soul. This representation is made through a graphic image of a tree with 10 interconnected saplings each turning around is represented by a sphere. Point in the tree is associated with an attribute or quality specific divine. The Tree of Life is made up of 3 vertical columns, each with a set of. The right column represents masculine energy and is associated with attributes such as love and mercy. The left column represents female energy and is linked to attributes such as strength and justice. The central column represents balance and harmony between the two polarities. Through the Tree of Life, Kabbalah seeks describing the structure of creation and the different forms of manifestation of the divine is a symbolic map that helps in understanding the relationships between divine forces and how they interact in the physical and spiritual world. Are the 10 emanations or divine aspects that make up the Tree of Life. Every being will represent a specific attribute or quality of God as well as a particular expression of human nature. Each servant is connected through paths that represent the interactions and energy flows between them. Each server has a Hebrew name and a particular function. Some of this puppy most commonly mentioned include that having a crown represents the crown of the Tree of Life and symbolizes the transcendental unity of God. Suksa wisdom represents wisdom divine and the ability to understand the essence of things. Bina se understanding represents the power of discernment and analysis, allowing the understanding of the mysteries. Divine divinity as well as human compassion. Javura strength represents the strength to justice and disciplinary power differs. Beauty represents harmony and integration of all divine and human aspects. Victory represents perseverance, overcoming obstacles, and the spiritual victory of glory represents devotion to humility and gratitude and exhort investigation of the universal laws that govern the cosmos. According to Kabbalah, Kabbalah seeks to understand the laws universals that govern cosmos between the divine and the human. According to this tradition, the universe is governed by fundamental principles that are revealed through study and practice. Kabbalistic. Let's explore some of these universal laws. The diversity, apparent multiplicity, are manifestations of this unity. The understanding and experience of this unit are sought through the integration of the different forces and aspects of the Tree of Life. Law of correspondence will end up holding that there is a correspondence between the different levels and planes of existence. The microcosm reflects a glucose and vice versa. The forces and patterns present in the universe can also be found within the human being. This law invites the study and exploration of relationships and connections between the different elements of reality. Law of balance between the opposing and complementary forces of the Tree of Life are grouped into polarities like masculine and feminine, love and strength, mercy and justice. Balance between these forces is considered essential for harmony and spiritual growth. Law of cause and effect in Kabbalah recognizes the influence of action and thought on the manifestation of reality. It is believed that our choices and intentions directly affect the experiences we live. This law encourages personal responsibility and the cultivation of a heightened consciousness to create a more positive reality. Law of spiritual ascension will end teaches that the spiritual journey is a continual search for connection with divine and for the expansion of consciousness through the study of mindfulness meditation. Practice of myths commandments via inner work. It is possible to rise to higher levels of consciousness and spiritual awareness. These universal laws, according to Kabbalah, offer a conceptual framework for understanding the nature of the cosmos and our relationship to it. Guidance and inspiration for those seeking a more conscious life that is meaningful and aligned with the divine principles that permeate all creation. Approach to energy concepts. Vibration and connection with the universe on horseback offers an approach interesting to understand the concepts of vibration, energy and connection with the universe. According to this tradition, everything in the universe is composed of energy and is in constant vibrating motion. Let's explore these concepts in more detail. Is considered the fundamental essence of all creation. It permeates everything that exists on both the material and spiritual levels. This energy is seen as a manifestation of divine energy, a life force that sustains and animates the universe too. Kabbalah seeks to understand how this energy manifests and interacts on all levels of existence. Characteristic vibration. Each being, object, or thought emits a unique vibratory frequency. These vibrations are not just physical, but also spiritual and emotional. Through understanding the vibrations and the quest to harmonize and raise personal frequencies for a deeper connection with the divine and with the universe as a whole. Connection to the universe. Will Kabbalah recognize the existence of an intrinsic connection between all beings and the universe as a whole? This connection is based on the idea that we all share the same divine energy, the same spiritual essence. Through this connection we are able to influence and be influenced by the universe around us. Silent meditation. And in the silent meditation is a fundamental practice in Kabbalah in which the practitioner seeks to quiet the mind and focus attention in the present moment. This is done by observing thoughts without getting involved with them, allowing an experience of inner calm and connection with the divine. Meditation with mantras. Unfinished. The use of sacred mantras is a common practice. Mantras are words or phrases that are repeated rhythmically during meditation in order to focus the mind and tune into the energy spiritual associated with this dream. Sacred creative visualizations. Creative visualizations are used in Kabbalah to create mental images that represent concepts and qualities spiritual. During meditation, the practitioner is encouraged to visualize symbols, scenes, or images representing divine light, the tree of life, or other representations spiritual principles, allowing a deeper connection with these principles. Contemplation of sacred texts. Will end up valuing the deep contemplation of sacred texts as mocking and other Kabbalistic teachings. During meditation, the practitioner can read a excerpt from these texts and then reflect on their meaning by searching spiritual sites and inspiration for the spiritual practice. Prayer and psalms of prayer plays an important role in the practice of Kabbalah. Practitioners recite prayers and psalms as a way to connect with the divine, express gratitude, seek guidance, and raise spiritual awareness. Study and reflection. Meditative practices. Formal forms. Finished emphasizes study and reflection as forms of meditation. The study of sacred texts and Kabbalistic teachings combined with reflection on their meanings and application in everyday life allows for a deeper understanding of spiritual principles and promotes growth. Interior service and charity will fit. It also emphasizes the importance of service to others and charity as spiritual practices by devoting time and energy to helping those in need and contributing to the well-being of the community. The practitioner cultivates virtues such as compassion, generosity, and unconditional love. To meditative and contemplative practices in Kabbalah create an inner space of connection with divine, expansion of consciousness and spiritual growth. Through silent meditation, use of mantras, creative visualizations, contemplation of the Kabbalistic journey to ethics and the love of next. Performance. Fundamental roles in spiritual development and in the pursuit of raising consciousness. Ended teaches that connection with the divine is not achieved only through intellectual study or practical spiritual, but also through the way we relate to others and how we live our lives in the world. Ethics and ends emphasizes the importance of ethics as a guide for actions and human behavior. Ethical principles such as justice, honesty, compassion, kindness, and respect for others are considered fundamental to living a life in alignment with spiritual teachings. Ethics is not just a matter of complying with external rules but of cultivating internal virtues that reflect the divine light in all interactions and decisions. Love of neighbor. Of the unfinished. Love of neighbor is considered one of the most important principles. Loving one's neighbor is not limited to just those who are close to us or share the same belief, but it encompasses all of humanity. Love of neighbor It involves treating others with kindness, compassion, and respect, recognizing the divinity in every human being, that love is an expression of love for the divine, as we recognize that we are all connected on a spiritual level. Kabbalah's interconnectedness unit teaches that all human beings are part of an interconnected fabric of energy and consciousness. In this sense, every individual action has an impact on the web of life as a whole. Through the practice of ethics and love of neighbor, we recognize our interdependence and work to build a more harmonious and balanced society. The journey Kabbalistic leads us to transcend the ego and understand that the well-being of others is intrinsically linked to our own spiritual well-being, personal and collective transformation, and ended up emphasizes that personal transformation is linked to collective transformation. By cultivating ethics and love for others in our own spiritual journey, we contribute to raising the collective conscience and for building a more just, loving and compassionate world through our actions. Ethics and love of neighbor help manifest divine light in the world and fulfill our spiritual purpose in abstract. Ethics and love of neighbor are fundamental in the Kabbalistic journey as they guide us to live in according to the spiritual principles, recognize divinity in others, and contribute to raising collective consciousness. These values help us create a more harmonious world and move closer to spiritual wholeness. In the Kabbalistic tradition, the use of symbols and amulets play a significant role as tools to access and direct spiritual energies. These symbols and amulets are charged of deep meanings and are used for various purposes such as protection, healing, connection with the divine, and consciousness raising. Here are some important points to discuss about the use of symbols and amulets in the labor tradition. Meaning and symbolic. The symbols in Kabbalistic tradition are rich in spiritual meanings and representations. They can be geometric shapes, letters, Hebrew archetypal figures, or combinations of elements. Each symbol has an energy and a specific intentions, and their proper use can help to awaken and channel these energies for a variety of purposes. Spiritual protection and purification. Many symbols and amulets from the Kabbalistic tradition are worn for protection against negative influences and spiritual purification. These amulets are considered bearers of special powers that can ward off unwanted energies and keep out harmful forces, and maintain a harmonious energy field and protected connection with divine. Symbols Kabbalistic are used to facilitate the connection with divine and awakening the spiritual presence. For example, the Star of David, also known as the Seal of Solomon, is a important symbol in Kabbalistic tradition and is used to represent the union between the divine and the human. When by meditating or concentrating on this symbol, practitioners can seek a deeper connection with the divine aspect of themselves, himself, and in the expansion of consciousness universe. Some Kabbalistic symbols and amulets are used to expand consciousness and reach higher states of spiritual awareness, e.g. the Tetragrammaton, a combination of the 4 Hebrew letters representing the sacred name of God, is considered a powerful symbol for access divine energy and raise consciousness to subtler levels. Intention and focus on the use of symbols and amulets in the Kabbalistic tradition. Intention and focus are essential elements. It is not just the presence, physicality of the symbol that is important, but the energy and intention that the individual puts into using it. When focusing the mind to intention in the symbol or amulet, the practitioner directs his energies and opens himself to spiritual influence represented by him. Study and understanding. And in the Kabbalistic tradition, the study and understanding of symbols and amulets are fundamental. Each symbol has a story, one context, and a specific meaning. It is important to study and learn about these symbols to utilize the practical application of Kabbalistic teachings in daily life is an essential part of the spiritual journey. Mackerel is not limited to being a theoretical study but seeks to bring transformation and improvement in all areas of life. Here are some key points that address practical application of Kabbalistic teaching. Self-knowledge will end emphasizes the importance of self-knowledge as a basis for personal transformation. By exploring our thoughts, emotions, and behavioral patterns, we can identify areas that need healing and growth. Practical application of Kabbalistic teachings involves self-analysis, and the continuous search for the self-improvement of human life is to seek growth. Spiritual correction of the soul, connection with the divine, cooperation in creation. Divine and the realization of divine potential life is seen as an opportunity. Sacred for the soul to develop and carry itself spiritually, to contribute to the evolution of the world towards a greater harmony and union with the divine, to finish it as well as other traditions. Spiritualists also address karma and reincarnation, although these concepts may vary in different interpretations and traditions. Let's explore how they are understood. Kabbalah perspective. Karma means karma understood as the law of cause and effect. According to this principle, every action, thought, and intention that a person performs generates a corresponding consequence. These consequences can to be experienced. Karma is not seen only as a punishment but as an opportunity for learning and spiritual growth. Through karma, the soul has the chance to correct past mistakes, develop virtues, and progress your spiritual journey. Reincarnation will end teaches the idea of reincarnation, in which the soul goes through multiple incarnations in different physical bodies over time. Incarnation is seen as a process of continuous learning and spiritual improvement. At each incarnation, the soul has the opportunity to face specific challenges, correct past mistakes, develop virtues, and progress in direction to your spiritual elevation. The incarnation is considered as a manifestation of divine mercy, granting the soul various opportunities for growth and improvement. This law suggests that the soul repeatedly returns to physical life until it has completed its corrected tasks, its imperfections, and reached the spiritual fullness. Through the return, the soul has the opportunity to balance past karma, learn unassimilated lessons, and progress your spiritual evolution. Soul evolution in Kabbalah sees the soul's journey as an ongoing process of evolution and improvement. Each incarnation provides a chance to learn, to grow, to rise spiritually, reach higher levels of consciousness through diverse experiences and specific challenges. In each life, the soul develops virtues, acquires wisdom, and approaches its divine essence. Personal responsibility. Even though karma and reincarnation are considered as integral parts of the cosmic system, the importance of personal responsibility. Each individual is responsible for his or her actions, thoughts, and choices, and these contribute to the formation of your own destiny and to the development of your soul. In summary, in the Kabbalah perspective, the karma and reincarnation are understood as part of the learning process, growth, and spiritual evolution of soul. Through these concepts and the quest provide a more understanding. Ampla Sobrit Terminer offers a variety of meditative and contemplative practices, which are used to deepen the connection with the divine, expand consciousness, and promote growth. Some of the meditative and contemplative practices commonly employed. Silent meditation. And silent meditation is a fundamental practice in Kabbalah in which a practitioner seeks to silence the mind, focus attention on the present moment. This is done through observation of thoughts without engaging with them, allowing an experience of inner calm and connection with the divine. Meditation with unfinished mantras. The use of sacred mantras is a common practice. For mantras are words or phrases that are repeated rhythmically during meditation in order to concentrate the mind. Tune into the spiritual energy associated with this sacred dream. Creative views are used to create mental images that represent spiritual concepts and qualities. During meditation, the practitioner is encouraged to visualize symbols, scenes, or images that represent divine light, the tree of life, or other spiritual representations, allowing a deeper connection with these principles. Contemplation of sacred texts will end up valuing deep contemplation of sacred texts such as Zohar and other Kabbalistic teachings. During meditation, the practitioner can read an excerpt from these texts and then reflect on their meanings. Recite prayers and psalms as a way to connect with the divine, express gratitude, seek guidance, and elevate spiritual awareness. Study and reflection in addition to formal meditative practices. They ended up emphasizes study and reflection as forms of meditation, the study of sacred texts and Kabbalistic teachings combined with reflection on their meanings and application in everyday life allows for a deeper understanding of spiritual principles and promotes inner growth. Service and charity. As spiritual practices by devoting time and energy to helping those in need and contributing to the well-being of the community, the practitioner cultivates virtues such as compassion, generosity and unconditional love. To meditative and contemplative practices in Kabbalah create an inner space of connection with the divine, expansion of consciousness and spiritual growth. Through silent meditation, use of mantras, creative visualizations, contemplation of the Kabbalistic journey to ethics and the love of next performance, fundamental roles in spiritual development and in the pursuit of raising consciousness. Ended teaches that connection with the divine is not achieved only through intellectual study or practical spiritual, but also through the way we relate to others and how we live our lives in the world. Ethics will end emphasizes the importance of ethics as a guide for actions and human behavior. Ethical principles such as justice, honesty, compassion, kindness, and respect for others are considered fundamental to living a life in alignment with spiritual teachings. Ethics is not just a matter of complying with external rules but of cultivating inner virtues that reflect divine light in all interactions and decisions. Love of neighbor is considered one of the most important principles. Loving your neighbor is not just limited to those who are close to us or share the same belief, but it encompasses all mankind. Love of neighbor involves treating others with kindness, compassion, and respect. Recognizing the divinity in every human being, that love is an expression of love to the divine because we recognize that we are all connected on a spiritual level. Kabbalah's interconnected unity teaches that all human beings are part of an interconnected fabric of energy and consciousness. In that sense, every action individual has an impact on the web of life as a whole. Through the practice of ethics and love of neighbor, we recognize our interdependence and work to build a more harmonious and balanced. The Kabbalistic journey leads us to transcend the ego and to understand that the well-being of others is intrinsically linked to our own well-being. Personal and collective transformation. And ended emphasizes that personal transformation is linked to transformation collectively. By cultivating ethics and love of neighbor in our own spiritual journey, we contribute to raising collective awareness and to building a more just, loving, and compassionate. Through our ethical actions and love of neighbor, we help to manifest divine light in the world and fulfill our spiritual purpose in abstract. Ethics and love of neighbor are fundamental in the Kabbalistic journey as they guide us to live according to the spiritual principles, recognize the divinity in others, and contribute to the elevation of collective consciousness. These values help us create a more harmonious world and move us closer to spiritual wholeness. In Kabbalistic tradition, the use of symbols and amulets play a significant role as tools to access and direct spiritual energies. These symbols and amulets are loaded with deep meanings and are used for various purposes such as protection, healing, connection with the divine, and consciousness raising. Here are some important points to discuss about the use of symbols and amulets in the labor tradition. Symbolic meanings. The symbols in Kabbalistic tradition are rich in spiritual meanings and representations. They can be geometric shapes, Hebrew letters, archetypal figures, or combinations of elements. Each symbol has a specific energy and intention, and its proper use can help to awaken and channel these energies for various spiritual purposes. Protection and purification. Many symbols and amulets of the Kabbalistic tradition are worn for protection against negative influences and spiritual purification. These amulets are considered bearers of special powers that can ward off unwanted energies and keep out harmful forces, and maintain a harmonious and protected energy field. Some Kabbalistic symbols are used to facilitate the connection with divine and awakening the spiritual presence. For example, the Star of David, Arfine, known as Solomon's seal, is an important symbol in Kabbalistic tradition and is used to represent the union between the divine and the human. By meditating or concentrating on this symbol, practitioners can seek a connection deeper with the divine aspect in themselves and in the universe. Expansion of consciousness. Some Kabbalistic symbols and amulets are used to expand consciousness and reach higher states of being. Spiritual perception, e.g., the Tetragrammaton, a combination of the 4 Hebrew letters representing the sacred name of God, is considered a powerful symbol for accessing divine energy and raise awareness to subtler levels. Intention and focus on the use of symbols and amulets in the Kabbalistic tradition. Intention and focus are essential elements. It is not just the presence, physicality of the symbol that is important, but the energy and intention that the individual puts into using it. When focusing the mind to intention in the symbol or amulet, or practitioner directs their energies and opens themselves to spiritual influence represented by him. Study and understanding. And in the Kabbalistic tradition, the study and understanding of symbols and amulets are fundamental. To each symbol has a history, a specific context and meaning. It is important to study and learn about these symbols to utilize the practical application of Kabbalistic teachings in daily life. Is an essential aspect of the spiritual journey. Kabbalah is not limited to being a study theoretical, but seeks to bring transformation and improvement in all areas of life. Here are some key points that address the practical application of Kabbalistic teachings. Self-knowledge will end emphasizes the importance of self-knowledge as a basis for personal transformation. By exploring our thoughts, emotions, and behavioral patterns, we can identify areas that need healing and growth. The practical application of the teachings. Kabbalistic practices involve self-analysis and the continual quest for high improvement. Spiritual practices in the practical application of Kabbalistic teachings involves incorporating practices spiritual in our daily routine. This can include meditation, contemplation, study of sacred texts, recitation of prayers or mantras, among other practices. These practices help us to cultivate a deeper connection with the divine, strengthen our spirituality, and expand our awareness. Transformation of the challenges and obstacles we encounter in life are opportunities for growth and transformation. The practical application of Kabbalistic teachings involve shifting perspective towards challenges by seeking to learn from them and use harmonious relationships, and ended emphasizes the importance of relationships and connection with others. The practical application of Kabbalistic teachings involves the search for harmonious relationships based on respect with passion and empathy. We recognize the divinity in others and seek to nurture healthy and constructive relationships. Service to humanity, to serve humanity and to contribute for collective well-being. The practical application of Kabbalistic teachings involves engaging in charitable actions. By helping those in need, we express compassion and solidarity and strengthen our connection with the divine. The search for balance between the material and the spiritual is a central theme in the journey. Kabbalistic teaching ended up teaching that although we live in a material world, we are also human beings, spiritual seekers of connection with the divine. Here are some important points to be discussed about the search for this balance. Recognition of duality between the material world and the spiritual world. Both are considered aspects of the human experience, and the search for balance involves the integration and harmonization of these two aspects. Overcoming the illusion of separation and seeking balance between the material and the spiritual involves overcoming the illusion of separation. Teaches that everything in the universe is interconnected and that divinity permeates all things. By understanding this interconnection, we can seek unity to integrate our lives material with our spirituality. Conscious use of material resources. The search for balance involves a responsible, conscious use of material resources. Kabbalah encourages us not to become overly attached to material possessions and use our resources in an ethical and balanced way. This includes practices such as conscious consumption, generosity, and sharing with others. Cultivation of spirituality in everyday life. The search for balance does not mean denying or renouncing the material world, but Yes, cultivating spirituality in all areas of our daily life ended up teaching that all actions can be sacred when they are performed with awareness and spiritual intent. Implies bringing compassion, kindness, and awareness to our interactions, work, relationships, and all activities we carry out. Spiritual practices, and I am transforming the search for balance. Involves engaging in spiritual practices and the constant pursuit of self-transformation. This may include meditation, study of sacred texts, reflection, contemplation, and other practices that help us cultivate a deeper connection with the divine and expand our spiritual awareness. Balance between time and space. The search for balance between the material and the spiritual also involves management. Adequate use of time and space. It is important to reserve moments of meditation and practices spiritual needs, as well as dedicating time and space to care for material needs. Finding a healthy balance between these aspects allows us to nurture both our spiritual lives and our material responsibilities. Integration and unification. In the final objective in the pursuit of balance is to achieve the integration and unification between the material and the spiritual. Ended these aspects, we are able to manifest the divine light in all areas. Ending it can promote positive transformations in several areas of life, bringing a greater sense of purpose. Spiritual connection and well-being. Here are some examples of how to end it. Can positively impact different. By studying and applying Kabbalistic teachings, a greater capacity for understanding, forgiveness, and harmony in interpersonal relationships, strengthening family ties, friendships, and health and well-being. Partnerships will end. Considers that health is an expression of balance, body, mind, and spirit by practicing visualization, meditation, and energy healing techniques can promote balance and harmony, helping to strengthen the system. Immune system, reduce stress, and improve general well-being. Prosperity and abundance will end. Teaches that prosperity is linked to connecting with the divine source of abundance by adopting a mindset of gratitude. Sharing with others and being open to opportunities can create a positive flow of energy and attract greater material and financial prosperity. Professional achievement will end. Encourages the search for a greater purpose in work and expression of individual talents and abilities. By aligning professional activities with spiritual values and goals, it is possible to find greater satisfaction and fulfillment in the work environment by promoting personal growth and professional balance. Emotional will end. Offers teachings and practices to help understanding and balancing emotions by exploring emotional patterns and working on transforming emotions. Negative emotions, you can develop greater emotional stability, increase resilience, and finding greater inner peace. Life purpose and ending assists in search and understanding of the purpose of life, helping to find meaning and direction in different areas of life. Existence. By exploring Kabbalistic teachings, one can develop greater clarity about personal spiritual goals, driving actions and choices that are aligned with that purpose. Spiritual connection will fit. It promotes a deeper connection with divine and an expanded understanding of existence. By studying and practicing Kabbalah can be cultivating greater spirituality, awakening the divine consciousness within and feeling a deeper connection with something bigger than the individual. These are just a few examples of how to end up there. Can promote positive transformations in different areas of life. The application of these teachings. We would like to express our deep gratitude to all of you for participating in this video about Kabbalah. We hope you found inspiration and wisdom as you explored the teachings and concepts presented. Thank you for being here, sharing your time and energy with us. We hope to have contributed to the expansion of your knowledge and awaken new reflections on the spirituality and life's purpose. If this content resonates with you, we ask, leave your like, subscribe to our channel, share this lecture with other people, and leave your comments. Remember, the Kabbalah journey is ongoing. We encourage you to explore further deeply this rich body of knowledge and apply the teachings in your daily life, always seeking the spiritual growth and inner harmony. Once again, we sincerely thank you all for being Here for your active participation and continued support. We wish you all a spiritual journey, enriching, full of peace, love and wisdom. Until the next video. We greatly appreciate that the power of the Kabbalah stays with all.